Hello, sales scientists. It's David Priemer here from Cerebral Selling. And what I wanted to do today was take you through one of my most favorite and simplest ways of handling customer objections. Now, this is not only really simple, but it is scientifically proven. I've taken this directly from one of my favorite books. It's called Yes, 50 Scientifically Proven Ways to Be Persuasive. It is one of my top sales reads. You can find it on my Top Sales Reads blog on my website. And what it talks about is this idea of the most powerful word in sales. It's one word, and that word is because. Because is this magical word. It's a word that is a trigger word. The word because signals the brain. It tells you when you're listening to the word because in a sentence that the thing that appears after, the sentence, the phrase that appears after the word because is the explanation, the rationale for what you just heard before. And it can be very, very powerful in a selling situation when you're handling an objection. And to drive the point home, they give this example in the book where they talk about someone wanting to butt in line at a photocopy machine. And this person, they tried this experiment where they said, okay, let's just have someone try to butt in line and ask to make 5 copies. So they go to the person at the front of the line and they say, excuse me, do you mind if I just have 5 copies. Can I make 5 copies? And the person says, okay. And they found about 60% of the time in this experiment that the person in front of the line would allow them to make the copies. So they decided to change it up a bit. They decided for the person who was butting in line to give an explanation. And what they said was, the person went to the front of the line and said, excuse me, do you mind if I make some 5 copies here? Because I'm in a bit of a rush. Okay, so they used the word because and they gave an explanation. And they found that the compliance rate skyrocketed to 94%. So the researchers tried this experiment again. This time they gave a less compelling explanation after the word because. And so they had the person come up and say, oh, excuse me, do you mind if I make 5 copies because I need to make copies? And of course, to us, that would be nonsensical. And yet the compliance rate only dropped by 1% to 93%. They repeated this experiment again. This time, instead of 5 copies, it was 20 copies. 20 copies, the stakes are a bit higher, right? The machine could break, the ink, the toner could run out. And they found that using the word because, regardless of the explanation that was given, had the impact of doubling the compliance rate. So the next time you're in a bind in your objection handle, certainly we want to be able to generate tons of satisfaction in our objection handling and give reasonable, logical explanations for our clients as to why we are taking the position that we are. But when all else fails, invoking the most powerful word in sales can be your biggest ally. So the next time you're trying to handle an objection, just throw the word because in there. I'll tell you, I've taught this to lots of reps. It is and I've used it myself a ton. It is a magical, magical word. Just use the word because, and you'll see the impact it can have on your objection handling. See you next time.